Hello guys and welcome to another video! Rick Riordan has a knack for announcing things right smack in the middle of my sleep schedule. And yesterday, October 18th, just 5 days after his last big announcement, he announced another Rick Riordan book. And not only a Rick Riordan book, but a Percy Jackson-centric short story. This is not a drill, I repeat, this is not a drill. So if you're like me and you are obsessed with the Rick Riordan blog, you've seen this. Let's take a look. Percy Jackson and the Chalice of the Gods. And it has a cover for now, thank God, is not going to be that one. And it says Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Chalice of the Gods. This is screaming Percy Jackson Demigod Files or Demigod Diaries. So I have a feeling it might be like that, or maybe more like Demigods and Magicians, just focused on one story. Right from the get-go, we already have a freaking date. We know when it's gonna be published, on the 26th of September of 2023. That's right, folks, next year. In fact, currently it's October. So in less than a year, only 4 months after we get The Sun and the Stars from the Nico D'Angelo adventure, this is, oh my god, what a year 2023 is gonna be. And we're also getting the Percy Jackson trailer in 2023. Oh my god, I'm gonna have my work cut out for me that year. Okay, but let's see what this is actually about. Well, a funny thing happened on the way to the Percy Jackson TV show. Back in 2019, when we were beginning to explore the idea of a new Percy Jackson adaptation, I pitched an idea to Disney that I hope might convince them to move things along. If they'd help me get a live-action series off the ground, I would be willing to write a new Percy Jackson novel, and even several, which Disney Publishing could release when the show came out. That is very, very smart of Rick, like shark mentality. As you probably know, I have continued to write about Percy's world in many different books, from many different points of view. But I have not done a first-person Percy Jackson POV full-length novel since The Last Olympian in 2009. Rick, we know that all too well. We are aware. And I haven't done a novel centering on our classic trio Percy, Annabeth, and Grover since The Lightning Thief in 2005. I'm so old. As you might imagine, this is the main request I get from readers, a sort of Percy Jackson 6. For years, I resisted doing this because I was having too much fun writing from other points of views, expanding Percy's world through other characters. Over a decade later, however, I figured such a book would not only be fun to write once again, it would promote the show and vice versa. Everybody could win. That is a very good marketing strategy. If the show comes out summer 2024, or like the beginning of 2024, then this release will still be very fresh in everyone's minds. This is great marketing. Props to you, Rick. But next time, please let me know before you drop this at 4 a.m. Spanish time, okay? I sketched out the plots for several adventures that would take place during Percy Jackson's senior year in high school. As it turned out, I didn't need them, but you can still give them to us. I'll read them. 20th Television was able to secure approvals to make the show without any extra incentive, which it was great, but it left me with several unused outlines for potential Percy Jackson books, and those ideas sat with me, slowly baking in my mind to a rich golden brown. Please, Rick, do not let us hanging. Flash forward to 2022, what a year, when we got the green light to begin filming. My friends at Disney Publishing came to me and said, "Hey Rick, what can we publish that will help us take advantage of the new interest in Percy when the TV show comes out?" We've talked about all manners of things, but I didn't want to publish something just to publish something. I agree with that. Thank you, Rick. Even though I want you to publish something, I want you to want to publish something good. I wanted it to be a book you all might actually love. Thank you. A kind of thank you for sticking with me all these years as you waited for a better Percy Jackson the Olympians adaptation. And so I said, you know what? I happen to have an outline for a new Percy Jackson book. It's called The Chalice of the Gods. So they're calling it a book here. Is it a book or is it like a very short book? Or what is it? The novel unfolds Percy's senior year at alternative high school in New York. After the action of the Heroes of Olympus, but before the trials of Apollo. This time around, Percy is not worried about saving the world. Good for him. He has a much harder quest getting into college, the poor guy. New Rome University requires recommendation letters from 3 gods, which means, yup, you guessed it, Percy has to run quests to get the letters. That's all you hear is Percy screaming into his pillow in frustration. The poor guy, just let him catch a break. First quest, the cupbearer of the gods. Ganymede is missing his chalice. Not only is this embarrassing, it's also a potential disaster, since any mortal who happens to drink from the cup will gain immortality. Damn. Percy, Annabeth, and Grover have to find that chalice and return it to Ganymede before anyone realizes he lost it. These gods, they really need GPS tags on their magic items, don't they? They really do. 2023 is shaping up to be a big year in the Percy Jackson universe, the understatement of the century. This spring, we will have a new Nico D'Angelo adventure, The Summoned Star, co-written by Mark Oshiro and me, which will be a completely different spin on the Percy Jackson and the Olympians universe. Then in the fall, we'll have Percy Jackson and the Chalice of the Gods, which is meant to be a classic Percy-voiced adventure, just like the original Percy Jackson in the Olympian series. Yes, our characters are now in high school, but if I do my job right, I hope Chalice will read very much like Percy Jackson 6. That is a very high standard that you're setting up for yourself. Percy Jackson number 6, we have been waiting for this for like over a decade. They're calling it that, so I'm guessing it's gonna be like an actual book. 200 pages book. Some questions you may be asking. You mentioned several outlines for the new Percy Jackson books. Will you read those too? My editor is wondering the same thing. Let's see how it goes with Chalice of the Gods. As I mentioned before, I am trying to stick to one book at a time right now because I have so much on my plate with the various TV, film adaptations we have underway. Will the new Percy Jackson book be more YA than middle grade since Percy is older? Nope, middle grade sensibility is where I live, friends. That is correct. He is better at doing that than YA. Yes, Percy is older, and so his situation is not the same as when he was 12. He sounds a bit older in the book. He is thinking about his life in college and beyond, but the tone is still the same, and the content is no more risque than in the original series. I want the books to continue being suitable for middle grade readers. The readers of all ages welcome. I am glad. Thank you. If not, this would be kind of uncomfortable. Of course, the next question is, will you kill anyone? You probably will, won't you? I don't think you will. No deaths are currently on the schedule of this book. Checks note. Yep, almost certainly not. Like 95% sure. Maybe 90%. Also, this book happens before the trials of Apollo. Percy, Annabeth, and Grover all appear very much alive at different points of the trials of Apollo. So they won't die. But that doesn't mean someone else won't die. Will we see, insert your favorite character in this book? This is meant to be a story about the original trio, Percy, Annabeth, and Grover, so most of the story revolves around them. You may hear little hints about what is going on with the different characters in the Percy Jackson universe, but for the most part, it's the OG crew. Thank you. I would also very much like to see maybe a little bit of a Talia cameo, because Talia-Percy interactions give me life, and I also love Talia and Grover, and Talia and Annabeth. Just Talia should have always been part of the original trio. It should have been a quartet. Will you do a tour for the book? We haven't nailed down any details, but probably yes. As I said, the book is meant to be a thank you to the fans and a celebration of the TV series. So we are timing Chalice to come out shortly before the series airs. But again, exactly when the series airs has not been determined yet. Stay tuned for that. I know more details, I will post them here on my vlog. We have a provisional cover. We have a date, September 2023, which is soon before the show airs, so we might not get a summer release. We might get a spring release to get ready for the summer. This is exciting. The Chalice of the Gods at Percy Jackson centric. I love that we're back to Percy Jackson first person POV. I would also love to see Annabeth's first person point of view, but Percy is Rick's comfort zone and he does that very well. So I'll let him do what he does best. I can't believe this is actually happening. I woke up and I saw this and I am still in shock. 2022, a new Percy Jackson centric book is announced. My life feels like it's fake. Like I woke up and I could not believe it. I honestly looked at it, I was like, what is this? Who is pranking me? What day is it? Is it April Fool's? Is it El Día de los Inocentes? What is it? We're actually getting a book. I don't know. I'm just very excited, very happy to be back in Percy's brain. Sally mentions Percy, Annabeth, and Grover going on a road trip to New Rome, but that is already when Percy has graduated. So that is one of the possible plot lines that Rick was talking about, because The fifth book, Tower of Nero, heavily hinted at something happening during that road trip, plus spoilers for the Apollo books. It's when Percy and Annabeth, I think, learned about Jason's death, so that could be a very interesting, emotionally charged book, and I love road trip stories, so I would love to see that. And I have a feeling that this might be a new format for Rick. Before each season comes out, he might publish a Percy Jackson related book or just a Rick Riordan verse related book in order to raise hype for it. I'm totally down for that. The first one we're getting, obviously, is the Nico book, which is a completely different thing because it's being co-written and it's not Percy focused. But then we are getting a book 4 months later in September. Percy focused, just written by Rick, as far as we know. And then, who knows, maybe 2025 we will get another book, because 2024 is gonna be the year of the show. I don't expect Rick to do anything else. That poor guy must be exhausted. So we're getting another book. That's it. That really is all there is to say. And I'm very excited. I like the name The Chalice of the Gods. Why not? I'm just hoping for a new cover. Rick, or your publishers or your agents, let me know when you're gonna drop that so I'm awake. Or you can just send it to me and I will do the cover reveal for you. I'll do it for free if you want, okay? I'll do it for free. Leave a like if you like this video, comment down below how freaking excited you are for this new book and if you were expecting it. Subscribe if you haven't already and click that bell button so you get notifications every time I post a new video. I post videos just like this every single Friday normally, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!